This one goes out to Paul Dono.
Who? I'm sorry, what? Also, wait. Press escape to... How do I turn the volume down? Okay, I'm turning the volume down for a second. Hello, friends! Hello! Wait, here, let me get some music going for a second here. And then we're gonna call people. Oh my god, I just want to say thank you, Eldritch Buddy, for the subscription. You know what? Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna freaking play this song. One sec. This is what I'm feeling today, honestly. Yeah. Observation duty. Okay. Let me just pose up. Okay, chat. If you don't know what observation duty is, and yep. Barf. Sorry, thank you for the tier 1. I really appreciate it. And for 3 months in advance. Oh, that's, dare I say, that's a little sexy of you. Oh, thank you. Okay, so if you guys have never played Observation Duty, chat, this is such a fun game, and you guys can play it with us. I'm perfectly fine with you, chat, pointing things out, all that jazz. We need the help, honestly. CRUMB and I are a little blind. Both of us are a little in the head. So anyways, the way Observation Duty works is there's like it's like a camera flipping game, and there's like anomalies and stuff like that, and you have to find the anomalies and report them, and if there's 3 anomalies in all the rooms, you just die. So I think that's great. I think that's amazing. And today we're joined by the lovely CRUMB Cup Toast. Rambo said he might join us later, but he's out right now. But yeah, if not, CRUMB and I are girl bosses. We will vibe. Yes. All right, I'm gonna call CRUMB. One sec. Okay. Let me just. Where the frick is the chat? Okay. CRUMB. Start voice call. Oh no! The Discord ringing. Ow! Ow!
Hello. I just want to thank you for creating such
Hello,
a safe
CRUMB?
and comfortable space to come to after long days less than
Thank you for the
It's been a
sub.
huge inspiration to
Appreciate
me.
it. Hello,
Thank you for doing
CRUMB.
what you do less than 3.
CRUMB? Can you hear me? Hello?
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 Oh my god, wait 1 second. My sub goal thing just glitched out and now says 0. Yeah, no subs! Guys, I obviously... 1 sec. Let me fix this real quick. This is just a silly mistake of mine. I don't know actually how to fix this, I'm not gonna lie.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh my gosh, you just were saying hello a bunch of times.
Oh, I do that. I repeat myself a lot.
I was also repeating, so I thought you both couldn't hear each other.
Wait, what just happened to this? Sorry, I don't know what my thingy is freaking out. It now says I have a singular 1. Oh man, sorry. My sub goal thing is freaking out. But anyways, hi CRUMB, how are you?
Okay, so I'm like washing the toilet, and I have these 2 thingies, and I'm putting them together, and my mom's like, CRUMB, don't do that. And I'm like, why? And she's like, you're making mustard gas, CRUMB. And I'm like, oh, okay, Mom. But then, like, I already put it all together, so now we have this big problem. So that's what I did this morning.
CRUMB! No! Wait, you actually made mustard gas?
I didn't die, so, like, I'm pretty sure I'm okay.
It's still not good for you.
I thought mustard gas kills you instantly or something.
No, wait. Here. Let me look it up for you real quick. Mustard gas. It's blistering on the skin. I think that sounds bad. This sounds way worse. Wait.
I don't have anything on my skin.
Okay, exposure to mustard gas is usually not lethal. Most victims recover from their symptoms within weeks. But you can get chemically burnt from it. So yeah, don't do that again.
I won't make mustard gas again.
This is my tip as an adult now. That's so weird to say, but as an adult that lives by yourself, you need to double check what chemicals you're storing together. Cause yeah, oh crap. That's a little silly of you. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little bit of a silly sausage moment on your part.
It's a bit of a little silly thing to do.
Just quirky things, making toxic gas in my bathroom.
It's not toxic. Whoa, that is trippy.
I know. Wait, here, I gotta wait. Is it? Can it? Here. Wait, I gotta turn off my music. I'm waiting for my stream to pick it up.
It's like it's the AI that auto generates thing. That's what it looks like.
All right, there we go. Yeah, no, this is terrifying. I kind of already gave the like chat like a little heads up on like how this game works. So, yup. I think we are doing good. Wait, one sec. Not my subs glitching out. Okay. Anyways, let's do this. Do you want to do the school, the metro, the market, the house, or the apartment?
Gosh, I just remembered how much this game sucks because it's so big.
It's big. The places are large, and the worst part is it's so dark half the time, and like it can be the things like the number of pills on the counter. It's a lot. Let's do a small one then. Let's do the house.
What apartments are smaller than houses, Sniff?
I don't know. I feel like the house would be smaller than a bank.
I'm not saying the house is bigger than a bank. I'm saying it's bigger than an apartment.
Okay, then we'll do the apartment. Okay.
We are testing a new reporting system. No need to report the anomaly type. Wait, what? Only report the root. Oh, it's this one.
Oh, I remember.
It is different. I remember now.
But too many false reports. This one's like the false report one. Like you don't want to. Please note that the men in the elevator are not anomalies. I hate the men in the elevator.
I don't like this one.
Okay. Wait. Okay, let's just flip through real quick. That already looks wrong right here.
It looks like the new Buzz Lightyear movie.
Warning. Attention, employee.
Anomalies have been previously sighted in the monitored area. Pay extremely close attention to the surveillance camera's footage. File an anomaly report ASAP when you notice something has changed.
I know. This feels wrong already. This like, it's like some Thanos looking face. I don't know.
Right, it's abstract light. No way.
Oh my gosh, the hardest part is you have to remember what the rooms looked like before, and that's hard on its own. Wait. Okay, that's like, is that a light right there? In the top right corner? What is that?
I think that's supposed to be there. Surely it would not be such a big thing already.
Yeah. This is already so hard. I told the chat that they can help us, by the way, because I am so bad at this game.
They can or they can't?
They can. I'm okay with their help. Someone says I have bad memory. This is already gonna suck, dude. Literally, I probably invited like the 3 people with the worst memory.
Oh, that was Rainbow's entire thing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, we're so losing. Okay.
I feel like nothing's changed, and it's gonna drive me insane because then it's gonna start being like there's a lot of anomalies, and then I'm going to cry. Okay, so there's like a chair here, a book here, a book here.
Evie. Check them in. Wait, it was that shoe always like that?
Yeah. That shoe was there.
Oh no, I'm already going insane.
Oh my god.
They
Wait, what?
They're bald now.
Wait. Oh. Elevator. Okay.
Sorry, I'm just.
No. That was good. Fixing anomaly. Okay, there you go, Crumb. You did it.
Goodness gracious.
Okay. I'm trying to see. Is that a light anomaly on that fridge? Do you see on the fridge? I don't want to report it and then like, you know what I'm gonna do?
I don't think so. Maybe it's just shiny.
No, it's always like that. Shoot. Okay, then I just messed up. I don't see anything different in the bathroom. Wait. Is that supposed to be like that? The shower head?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. Sorry, I'm like mega paranoid because, yeah.
They have their hair.
They do have their hair back. Shoe is gone. Wait. No, shoe's right here.
Oh, these
you liars! You liars!
No losers.
I don't know why. What is this Thanos looking painting? I don't know why it's so funny to me.
Stop looking at it. We have to focus in, bro.
The rug? Oh wait, the rug is just gone. Okay.
Oh goodness gracious, we are so bad at this game.
That's like a whole thing that we just missed.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. No. This is why we need chat. Was there a glass fan in the alleyway before? Which... What? I don't know what they're talking about. What was that? What was that, Crumb?
I'm not so scary.
You are mean. You.
I like to cause problems.
Wait, what is that? What is that? What is that? Oh, that was a time. Okay, it's 1 now.
Bing bong.
Bing bong. I feel like this game always makes me feel like I'm missing something. And I know I am. Someone said brick in doorway. I thought that was always the... Oh, I don't actually think that was always here. What is this? This is entrance? I don't think the brick was always here. I think there was a door there.
What brick?
We shall see. See, like the brick door. No! Oh my god, the brick was... You guys are actually mean!
You have... Wait, before you do things, ask me so
okay,
I can tell
okay.
you. Nice.
This is the issue. This is the issue, Crumb. I'm too anxious. I believe chat so easily. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous I actually got a stomach ache.
No, Crumb! Crumb, you're too strong for this. Wait. Is this a camera anomaly? Like, do you see how it's curved?
I think that's just the perspective.
Oh, okay. Was this toilet paper always...
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my
What?
gosh. The bathroom. Did you not see that? Do not look in the bathroom. Do the bathroom. Are you insane?
I didn't see it! Wait, where is it? Where's the toilet?
Oh my god, what is wrong with you? Oh my god.
Crumb! I literally was like, somebody was like, oh, the toilet paper, so I go in the bathroom and I'm like, oh, toilet paper. Oh wait, 1 second. I have to put a trigger warning on the title because I don't want people to join my stream and then like, yeah, there is a slight flash warning. Okay,
I'm gonna throw up.
Don't throw up. Don't throw up. You're too strong. You're too cool. I hate this. What are these paintings? Like, why do they have to be so freaking creepy?
I don't know. Trying to focusing. Check the men. Check the men.
Check the men. Men are fine for once.
They're alright.
I feel like nothing's happening.
No, don't say that, because then you'll get the error. I'm saying there's too many anomalies.
Okay, I remember this box being here. I remember the pencil being here. I remember the shoe being here. The painting on the office walls, I think, are the same, chat. Yeah, they're the same.
Wait, go back. Go back.
Wait, this way?
To the kitchen.
What about the kitchen?
Oh, I thought I saw something.
No, no. We are blind. Okay.
I'm missing something.
Wait, there's 2 elevator panels in the, okay. Elevator. There's 2 button panels. Someone just, yeah. Someone just pointed that out. Oh my god. Thank you. Wait, someone said,
noticed that?
I don't know. Chat's just built different, I guess. Wait, chair? The chair was always here, I think.
It was always there.
Have you seen this man? I hate that so much.
Have you seen this man?
Have you seen this man? Crumb, have you seen this man?
Have you seen this man? Have you seen a man?
Was that trash bag always here?
I could think so.
Oh my god. Okay. Someone says new box in the stairway, but I don't think this box was always here. The box that's near the door.
I feel like it has. I
Wait,
don't know.
someone said the picture in the hallway. Oh my god. Yeah, that's different. Okay.
What picture?
This one, it looks like a butt. I don't know, like
Oh, picture. I thought you said picture.
painting, sorry.
Sorry.
Thought I heard something, it scared the crap out of me. I can't tell if this is I can't tell if this is
anything in the game.
Oh, you can't?
Yeah.
What? Okay, wait, let me see. Let me see if I can fix that. Maybe I have to share a window? Or...
I think I hear it very... Oh, it's just really, really, really quiet.
Oh, okay. That would explain it. I can just turn it down for my stream. Okay.
Check the camera, Sniff.
I'm sorry, I was getting distracted.
Wait, go back to the coffin.
The what? The coffin?
Coffin?
Is that new?
Never mind.
Okay, wait, what is this? What is this? The alley... There's 2 alleys. Okay, send.
Wait, how do you know which alley?
It says it in the corner. It says what it is in the corner.
Oh, I'm not the brightest.
Oh. Okay, okay, there we go. Fixing anomaly, we win these.
Your toilet looks like an anvil.
Yeah, it kind of does. Okay, the men are fine. This room seems fine. I feel like that trash bag wasn't always there, but I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like if it's been here for this long and nothing has happened, we're okay.
Yeah, I think I'm just being paranoid. I hate how this game will like be quiet for so long and then something will happen.
Can you go back?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. I'm saying, can you check the bathroom? Was that thingy on the shower always there?
This?
I can't see her mouth.
Oh, the shower head thing?
Yeah, the thing next to the shower head.
I think it oh, I don't remember. I'm not gonna lie.
I can't recall.
We only have 1 strike left, so I feel
Just
like
leave it. Just leave it.
yeah, I feel like we gotta wait.
Oh, this is not
What room was that? Okay, entrance. It's entrance. It's entrance. It's entrance. Send. This is emergency. I know it's going. I know. I'm going. Wait, there's got to be 2 more. There's got to be 2 more. What are the other ones?
Oh my god, maybe it is the trash. Do you want to try the bathroom?
Okay, but we only have. I don't know.
Maybe we shouldn't.
Sniff, if you had to choose to buy either
Someone's
stickers
at
or
kitchen
pins,
window
what would you
changed.
buy?
Oh, it did. It did.
Quickly!
Crumb, somebody donated and said, Sniffy, if you had to choose to buy stickers or pins, what would you buy? What would you do, Crumb? Choose stickers or pins?
I don't know, they're asking you! I feel like it's rude if I answer.
For me, it's pins, I think.
I like stickers. I like that they're sticky. What? That is legit. That is true.
Nothing, that's just it's a simple answer and I get it. 2 toilets?
Okay,
Okay, wait, where's the elevator? Send.
This is why I don't like men. I'm just saying. Those guys on my nerve.
Like every man ever?
Men as a whole. There is no 2 toilet. You guys are liars.
Yeah, what? Why do I feel... Why is my chat gaslighting me?
Yeah, what the heck, bro? That is pretty messed up what you guys are doing. I hope you know.
I feel like we're doing good. Except I false reported
Yeah,
twice.
warning in 2 strikes.
Yeah. We're alive. Yeah, there are 2 toilets? No, that's...
Where?
Y'all, that's literally a sink. That's not a toilet.
No, that's clearly a urinal.
It's a bidet. Yeah.
It's a bidet, but the bidet aims downwards, so it's useless.
Wait, this feels weird. This is weird. This room's weird. This one...
That's weird. That's not normal.
I don't know what's going on in here, but it's
Probably,
different.
Like, maybe the coat hanger is missing?
No, the door feels like farther away.
Let's see. Oh, it was
Okay, there we go.
farther. That's creepy. Stop checking the elevator, men. They're scary.
I have to, Crumb. I have to check all the cameras.
I don't want to look at them. I don't even want to perceive them.
I'll go over them quickly, okay? I'll make sure to like double tap.
What's with the dinosaur in like the front door? Like you see it, right? The dinosaur?
What?
The dinosaur in the front area, the front door.
Did you see that, Crumb?
Did you see the door open?
Wait, which door was that? Hallway, that's
The
hallway.
entrance.
No, that's hallway,
Wait,
that's
what?
hallway. It says hallway.
Where's the entrance?
Nope.
I feel like you freaked out before it happened.
Well, you're probably seeing it with a lag, I assume.
Yeah, because you started like freaking out, and then I saw the door open. It's like you predicted it. Oh, but did you see the dinosaur? In the
Where?
hallway?
In here?
In the hallway.
Stairway? Wait. Toilet, study, kitchen, hallway. Where?
Dinosaur. Do you see it? Isn't that a dinosaur? Those are shoes! Okay, I'm gonna take a picture of that and then send you what I've been seeing.
Okay.
In my opinion, is a dinosaur. You'll see though, you'll see.
I'm so nervous. I hate this.
Dang it.
Entrance door
said-
change? Oh, okay. Wait, entrance or hallway?
Did it? What entrance? Oh, the entrance. Wait, go
Because,
back.
like, this is the entrance.
I think the door did change. I don't think there was a door there.
Okay. Wait, I'm gonna... If y'all get us out on this, I'm gonna cry.
But if it does like that.
Oh,
Okay.
they were right. Okay.
Go back to the entrance. It was the door. It was the door by the fallen thingy. It wasn't supposed to be there, I think.
Oh, it was just...
Yeah,
no, it's
yeah.
just older. Yeah. Was
It
there
was
always...
shinier.
There was always a washing machine in the bathroom, chat. Wait, I feel like this box changed in here.
I don't think so.
Oh. Are you sure? I feel like this wasn't always here. The box, like, in the middle, the shiny... How dare you? How dare you be sick? Oh, okay. They've got headphones. They've got What are they listening to? What do you think they listen? Do you think that they're listening to Miku?
Oh my gosh, I love Hatsune Miku. I was listening to her today.
I like Hatsune Miku's too, CRUMB.
And I'm gonna start sending all the songs I listen to. You shouldn't have told me that.
Maybe we should be jamming to Hatsune Miku right now.
We should. Okie dokie. It is. I think we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, it's... How long do we have to live till? Is it 6 a.m. or is it 5?
I think it's 6. They're waiting for Gundam Style to play.
I feel like this box isn't correct. The one in the entrance, but...
No, Sniff, you're insane. You're imagining things.
Stop, CRUMB, stop gaslighting me. I can't do this anymore. Broken bench in alley? Wait.
Ikra?
Broken what in alley?
Eh?
Alley 1 or alley 2?
What bench? There is no bench in anywhere.
Yeah, what? Phone in the bathroom. That's always been there.
Nope, the tower rack is missing.
Oh my god! You're insane!
Good thing we go to the bathroom to check though, because then I wouldn't have noticed.
Yeah, fair enough.
Bing bong.
Hat at the hallway. What?
Are you sure we should listen to them?
But I feel like this has always been here. Wait, I need to scooch up. I need to listen. We're in the hallway. There's literally nothing different here. I don't know. Yeah. Back painting in office. No, that's always been like that. It's just always been weird.
Someone say that the windows in the alley, like with the broken TV, is skinnier?
I can't tell. I don't remember. Eyes in the alley? What? Which one?
Those eyes on the trash can? Oh, whoa, what the heckity? That's Freddy Fazbear.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Freddy Fazbearing out. Oh my god. Oh! Did you see that, CRUMB?
Whoa, what the heck? Oh my gosh, that's... Oh
Did
my
you
gosh.
see? Wait.
I don't know, look at it. Don't go back. I just... Oh. You think you're silly. You think you are silly, but you're not.
Oh my
You
god.
are not silly.
FNAF is real. I feel like something... Oh man. Nothing has changed in the office yet. Okay. We're getting spooky today, chat. That's what we're doing. We're spooky guys.
Just a spooky gal, if I will say so myself.
Guys, if it's ever too spooky, you can do exclamation point hug and the bot will hug you. Don't worry.
If it's ever too scary, you can do exclamation mark leave the stream. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
Crumb, are you encouraging people to leave my stream?
No, no.
Do you, Crumb? Do you think, Crumb? Do you think I'm a bad streamer, Crumb? Is this what you think?
No, I'm just saying if they're overwhelmed, they can like leave. Oh my gosh! Sniff! Sniff!
I can't get it! I can't get it! I can't get it! I can't get it!
Sniff! Oh my gosh! Gosh!
I was struggling so hard. Oh my! Someone said, "Ah, that's my bad. That's my dad." Okay. Well, that was nice, I guess.
It was not your line.
So it's such a white man jump scare.
Keep checking the cameras.
Yeah, I'm trying, Crumb. I'm struggling mentally after that one. Wait. Oh, sorry, I thought I saw something in their ears.
It's coming out.
What?
Nothing. To little towel by the door.
Little what? Oh, it's gone. Yeah, the weird towel in the hallway is gone. The thing that I think your dinosaur is gone. No, Crumb.
Dinosaur. Can anyone confirm it does look like a dinosaur?
Yeah, for Crumb, please. Wait. Oh, man. This game. Wait, this box is different. Allie too.
It is different. It is different.
Oh my god, I'm so good at this. Holy shit! Toilet seat changed? Wait.
Oh, is it still an anvil?
It did! It's no longer an anvil! Ooh, let's go! Let's go! We're kind of really good at this.
Oh yeah, it is just number one, you and me.
Yeah, we don't need Rambo or Poodwaddle.
Yeah, we don't need those. Disgusting.
What crap?
Kitchen table, the table's wrong. The table's broken. The table is rotated, the bottle is not in the same place.
Okay. I'm reporting the kitchen.
I lied.
You lied? You lied?
No.
Oh my god, Crumb cup toast. I swear to God, we are so close. I'm not. If I wouldn't have forgiven you for that. Their hair's different.
Yeah.
Their hair's different. Okay. I don't see many changes.
Everything seems about the same. No anomalies around here.
Oh, kitchen painting. Okay, wait, somebody said
With them big ol' eyes.
someone said the box at the top of the stairs, but that's always been there.
That's always been there. I'm sorry to break to you.
Have you seen this man?
Have you seen this man?
Maybe that's Huge Man.
Have you seen this man?
Have you
His
seen this
name
man?
is Huge Man.
Okay, it's back to the weird Thanos painting. Wait, did the laptop get rotated? No, I don't think it did. I think I'm just going crazy. Somebody redeem hydrate. I have to 1 sec.
No, we're gonna die. Don't drink water. Please, please, please. Okay, thank you. Just keep flipping through while you drink the water.
Got it. Hands in alley barrel? Where?
Huh?
Something's wrong there. I don't know what that was. Something's wrong there.
Someone's emerging. That's how people are born. Yippee!
Okay. I think it's normal now. We are so close, Crumb.
Gosh, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
That was an invasion of my personal privacy.
That was an invasion of my mental health. Like I owed you therapy. It's okay.
Someone said that reminds me of my uncle. Oh my god, are y'all okay?
Oh my gosh. What
was that? Study.
Holy moly.
Oh my god. Please, we have 7 minutes. Please. Just let me live.
Die.
Crap.
I'm surprised that the man in the poster did not change.
Okay. Last few seconds. Our shift. Yo! How many did we find? Oh my god. I'm gonna take some water. That was hard. That was mentally challenging.
We fixed 26 anomaly, but out of what? Out of what?
I think that's like as many anomalies as you get.
Really?
Yeah.
26 is such a specific number.
I'm slurping over this. Okay, I'm gonna wait till we go back to the menu because then it does that weird thing, you know, the trippy thing. Okay, wait, should we do, somebody said we should do school.
It's so big.
Crumb, we're pro gamers. We're literally pro gamers. Okay, first things first. So if you have to do kiss, okay. There you go. Are you happy? Damn. Okay. Okay, they want to, you kiss? You know?
Oh. I go like mwah.
Mwah. Okay, first let's do a look through of all the rooms. Just kind of really
I remember this.
Really take in the rooms.
It's all coming back.
Okay. There's the Okay. I think this one we actually have to report what it is.
Dude, you're 5'11"?
You didn't know I'm 5'11"?
I thought you'd be like a 5'8"
Wait.
or 5'5" or something.
Crumb! Wait. Crumb! Wait.
What?
Wait. Wait, I'm like trying to... Wait, here, let me turn on my camera. What?
What is wrong?
Okay, this shelf...
Yeah?
The shelf is 6 feet. The one that I'm near. Do you...
Oh. I don't know. I would have just assumed that this shelf is like smaller than.
No, I'm tall. Do you not believe? This is a... Actually, Crumb will have you know that I'm 11'5", so maybe you should reconsider.
Whatever.
Okay, anyways, back to the game! Alright, Crumb. I'll just, like, keep consistently flipping through. Dude, these paintings are so whack. I know that they're, like, the base paintings, but I already hate them. Like, what? Why? Like, look at this painting right here that's, like, on the right. It literally looks like a picture of someone's boobies. Like, why would you...
It looks like some dude holding a very big bat or something, just waving it.
Okay, we have to remember the balls in the middle here, because a lot happens with the balls.
Last time they were started to rock, I remember.
Someone says small and tall duos. We are a small and tall duo. You're pretty small, right, Crumb?
No, I'm not. You're just big.
How tall are you, Crumb?
Like, probably 5'3". I'm pretty sure. My doctor says I'm 5'1", but I think my doctor's lying to me.
Okay, wait. We gotta start observing. You know?
Observing. You're messing me up. I'm observing.
Somebody just asked me what's wrong with boobies, as if I'm not literally gay. Like, I feel like I'm missing things. There's so much. Was this chair always here in this setup?
Yes.
Man.
I know.
Was the lunch bag always on the... Oh wait,
yes.
we don't, that's right, we don't lose in here. We don't lose for, guessing things, so...
Wait, it's different?
Yeah, this one we don't lose for guessing things. We can guess whatever we want. Okay, I feel like the computer screens are different here. Or were they always like this? Wait, this is a light anomaly. There's a light anomaly in here.
No, it's just no, it's not.
Well, I mean, we could still try it because we don't get punished for guessing wrong.
I don't think so.
I think I'm...
What?
What?
I knew it.
What about the light here? Is that wrong?
I think that might have always been there.
Oh, shoot. I'm getting raided. I have to say hi to the raiders.
You sound so mad about it.
No, sorry. No, that's not true, especially since I love Shovel.
Shovel!
It's Shovel. Okay. If you like Shovel, say I. Welcome raiders. Hello. Just letting you know there is a trigger warning for this game. It is slightly spooky, but I am joined with CRUMB. If you guys don't know CRUMB, then that's sad. I'm really sorry for your loss. Anyways, yes, we're playing a game called Observation Duty. You flip through cameras, you look and you find anomalies. You are welcome to play with us. You can backseat game. You can be like, oh, like, I think I see something. We're totally fine with that because CRUMB and I are a little, you know? So, yeah, welcome, raiders.
What'd you just say?
I said nothing. So yeah, you guys are welcome to stay here if you don't like spooky games. I totally understand that. Either way, follow, because I don't normally play spooky games. I normally play like cute games. But anyways, back to observing. Okay, resume.
You guys should follow me.
Yes, you should. You should.
6-hour streams where I stare at the camera in silence.
That's not true. You do amazing streams where you do art.
Stop talking. I don't want to hear from you.
You what? You don't mean to? What? You don't mean to compliment you?
I don't
Wait,
care.
is this supposed to be like curved right here? I think it's just perspective.
That's how the perspective is like.
Oh, I hate perspective. I'm perspective anti. Oh!
Okay.
Wait, too many anomalies. What? Where?
There's nothing. Where?
Literally where? Literally what? Let's try object movement in classroom. I think I did that wrong. I think I had to change it.
Wait, go
What?
back. Go back, please. Go back. No, what?
Wait, was that?
What was even
That
the
was
thing?
classroom.
We
That was
don't know.
classroom 2 though. Is there an object movement in here? What had moved? Literally what? Pictures on the wall in the gym. What? I thought those were the same. Oh, actually, I think those are different. I do think that they're different. Wait. Abyss present, camera malfunction. Where's that picture anomaly? I think that they went from like, wait, pictures in the bathroom?
That's what I thought. Why do they have pictures in the bathroom?
No, the bathroom's always been the same. The remember to wash your hands.
Chat is dirty and yucky.
Sniff just run. I think the picture in here is different though.
I
Wait,
cannot help. I am so useless right now. I have no idea.
No,
what's going
Crumb, you're
on.
so good. You don't understand. You're goated. You're talented and insane and amazing. Yes, hype. Bathroom? What's wrong with the bathroom?
Why do they hate the bathroom so
Literally,
much?
what's wrong with the bathroom?
Yes,
There was
please,
someone in the mirror. Well, it's not. They're not there anymore. On top of
now
the
they're
wait,
in a real mirror.
the clock in the office. Are you telling me? Okay, yeah, no, the clock's definitely different. Wait, office object movement. See, Crumb, look at this. Look at this. Look at the clock. It's sliding up and down.
Dancing.
He's doing a little dance. I don't know.
Maybe he wanted to be a dancer when he was older. Younger.
Okay, the toilet paper is gone. Was there toilet paper? Wait, okay. Object disappearance. Toilet.
No more bathroom snack.
No more bathroom snack? Crumb?
Why do
Hello?
you think people go to the bathroom?
I don't know. To shit?
No, it's for the bathroom snack.
The shit?
No, the toilet paper, Sniff.
Oh. Okay. Okay, is one of the chairs in the classroom different? I ask myself this. Thank you for the prime. I ask myself this every day if the chairs are... Why did that feel weird? Oh, the camera. The camera was like slowly zooming in. Wait, which room is this? Corridor. Okay. Corridor, camera malfunction? That's so creepy. I hate that. Okay. What do you mean there's no
What the?
wait, distortion. There's a whole nother thing for... Okay. I didn't know that. I'm sorry. Wait, are things different in the hallway? I have no clue. I have no clue anymore, chat.
Oh, he's fixed it.
Oh, well, yeah, look at the little toilet paper. She's back. Yeah, thank you so much for the prime. Sorry, I'm not muting Crumb.
I love you. You are my favorite.
Oh my, Crumb, that makes me want a prime. Just so you'll say that to me.
You don't need to prime to be my favorite, Sniff. Look, I drew it on my taxes notepad.
Somebody said, does this game have any jump scares? And I don't know how to describe the mess that was Huge Man earlier.
It's definitely have jump scares.
Yeah. They're not as often. I think, you know... I can't tell if this is moving. I feel like we're not seeing anything. It's bothering me. Gym pictures. The gym pictures are the same, are they not?
Oh my gosh, the person is handy. The person has the wheelchair.
That looks... Wait, what?
We're not there before.
Yeah, but like, what? That's my favorite gym activity.
Getting pushed around in a wheelchair?
I guess so. I don't know. Was this map always here in this room?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. The water bottles are still there.
Floor different? Is the floor different? Am I insane?
Wait, let me see. Is there other? And this is classroom 2. I feel like you're right. I feel like the floor was the same as the other rooms. Bathroom light anomaly? Oh, wait, CRUMB, you're so good at this.
Oh, Mamma Mia, holy moly macaroni.
Oh, I think the light is different in the bathroom.
Is it?
Well, let's try it. I mean, it doesn't hurt.
Eat up.
Okay, box on bench. This box has always been here, chat.
Are you missing shelves here?
The screen went red for a sec? I don't know. Wait, shelves? No, I think the shelves are all there.
Okay.
I don't know. This game makes me so nervous. I hate it. But I also love it. It's kind of fun. It's kind of exhilarating. It's kind of spooky. I feel like oh wait, the painting in the bathroom, it's different. Picture anomaly toilet. It says don't. I don't know what that says, but it's supposed to say don't wash your hands. The office fan?
Fish? Looks like a fish.
Wait, office fan. Wait.
What office? Wait, are you missing something?
Wait, oh, I think there's a camera malfunction.
Yeah.
Camera malfunction office.
How did you see a missing fan if the thing wasn't even there?
Yeah, what?
The fan isn't there.
Well, let me go check.
The entire thing isn't there.
Is the fan not supposed to be here? Office gone. No more office. Laptops are on now? I thought they were on before. Yeah, the laptops were on before. Unless you mean like in the office.
We're bad at this game, Sniff.
Are the computers always been staticky? I think so. I don't know. Huh? Is something different in this room? I can't tell. Are the paintings the same in here? I think so. The toilet used to be dirty.
Ew.
Wait. So that's what someone said. Let's try extra object, I guess? Or other? CRUMB, did you see that?
No.
Where's the intruder? Intruder, classroom 1. What are they doing? What are they doing? What are they doing? What are they doing?
Once when I was in middle school, there was a naked guy who started running around and banging on the doors.
What?
That was scary. We went into lockdown.
I'm sorry, what? Okay. This one said that's not the toilet, sir. Picture in gym. Which one?
They all look the same.
Yeah, I mean, I'll still try it. Picture anomaly, send. But are there fewer balls in the gym? No, I think there's always 4.
There was always 4.
It says no pictures different in the gym.
Golf was always there. Golf was always there.
Yeah. My palms are sweating, CRUMB. Oh, my phone fell. That scared the shit out of me.
Gosh.
Lunchbox gone from classroom 1. You're
Oh,
right. You're
is
right.
missing.
Okay. Wait, where is it? Missing object? Wait, object. Shit!
Oh,
Man! What were we missing?
probably the object.
Bro!
You want to try the same one again?
You want to try the school?
Yeah.
Yeah. 1 second. Let me just pick up my phone and take a second to like exist. Oh, by the way, chat. If you came from Shovel's stream and you still aren't following, you should change that. Wink wonk. Sorry, I'm a little cringe. Look.
I'm winking too. You guys can't see.
No, yeah. No, actually, I can see CRUMB. I'm in your walls.
I'm uncomfortable now, but I'm having a good time.
Okay, retry. Let's try this again. I feel like it will be better now that we like have played the map before at least once or twice.
So,
Okay, let's
we're
go.
really bad at the game.
That's not the too many anomalies. It didn't even give us a warning before too many anomalies.
Maybe we just really suck and they gave up. There was like just an incredible amount of anomalies that we had missed.
Yeah. Man. Whew. Okay, let's do this thing. I'm like trying to. This clock is at like 7:40. Okay, I'm gonna slurp.
Please, you gotta remember what time the clock is at?
Dude, this game has changed things like the number of pills on a desk before. I wouldn't put it past them to change the clock.
Some people can't read time though. My brother can't read time.
I had like a whole class about it one time. Oh, somebody else.
Really?
Kiss, kiss. Just for you, chat. Thank you for redeeming kiss, kiss for us. It's just a silly chat thing, you know?
You should have a punching one. I do that for my chat, but for free.
Like I punch chat or chat punches me?
You punch chat.
Okay, wait, but also how funny would it be if it was like you did it, you redeemed it, and it redeemed a GIF and it just punched my face? That'd be kind of silly.
That would be kind of silly. You are a bit of a silly Billy, Sniff.
Oh, me? Little old me? Stop. Oh my god, I'm blushing. Wait, what was that? Why did that do that? Okay, we need to observe. We're not observing.
Sorry, I got caught up in the moment.
Oh, this is a light anomaly. There's a light anomaly in classroom 1. Is it? Where is it? Where's light anomaly? Okay, here we go.
You think the art students how to draw circles?
What? I can't draw circles. That's why I just kind of draw like really weird ovals.
I can't draw circles either. I did like an entire animation where I animated like a circle, and it was the worst thing ever because in every single one it did not look like a circle.
Mm-hmm. Even with like the circle tool. I'm bad at making circles. Oh wait. Did that? Do you see that? Oh, it's an abyss presence. It's an abyss presence. In the corridor. In the corridor. Abyss presence corridor. Okay. It's like coming closer. Okay. Someone said gym floor. What about the gym floor?
I think it's the same.
Yeah. I think that was the TV in the classroom always there? Wait, water bottle on the locker in the hallway. That's always been there. The TVs have always been in the classrooms, I thought. Painting in office. I'll try it. Doesn't look any different.
We have to lose.
Yeah. Exactly.
Don't go back. Don't go back.
I'm not. Why was he naked? Sir, this is a school! Sir, this is a school! This is a school!
You had a pineapple, Sniff. Did you see the pineapple?
Wait, do you hear a noise in this room?
I can't hear a lot in general.
This game has me sweating so hard.
Sniff, he came bearing a gift. He had a pineapple.
I don't want him to give me the pineapple, because then I'd have to see his pee-pee.
Oh no. That
And
is true.
I don't want to see his pee-pee. Okay, that was a time. Yeah, water bottle on locker got- No, it's right here, isn't it? Wait, here, let me try, missing object. I'm so bad at, like, okay, object disappearance. That's missing object, and then this is the corridor. Okay. No anomaly found. Great. I'm so cool for that.
So hard to find things.
I know. Unless it's like right in my face, I don't see it. Which is kind of stupid. That's like the whole point of the game is defeated. Camera weird in bathroom.
It looks the same.
Yeah, well, I can try it. I can do
Show us the time
distortion.
on the clock.
Huh?
Someone said time on the clock.
Time on the clock is the same. No anomaly found in toilet. Let me try camera malfunction in the toilet. I'm just worried that something really bad is gonna gym pictures. I think the gym pictures are the same.
Oh my gosh, every time someone says gym pictures,
yeah,
ignore
what?
them because they're just lying at this point.
Extra object corridor. Okay, let me try extra object disappearance. Where's extra object? Oh, here it is. Corridor. Send. Hopefully that's it.
I think it's the ball, maybe?
I think it's like there's like something at the- Oh! Yeah. Gas. Yeah, it's like there's something back there.
Yes! I think there's a ball. Also, it wasn't a ball.
Is this moving or am I just tired?
What is moving?
I thought the camera. Stiff, is your voice okay? Yeah, I just need some water, chat. I clear my throat. Okay, that's not right. That's a distortion.
That moved. That moved.
Yeah, that was a distortion.
Can confirm.
Okay. I'm sweating. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sweating a bit.
Sweating because it's like 90 degrees.
Yeah, it's a little warm in here. feel like something's wrong in this classroom and I can't tell.
I think everything is
Plant pot.
now.
Someone said plant pot. The plant pot has always been there, chat. Extra text on comp class 1. Here, wait. TV slash... Let's try it. Oh, nice. I love it when chat is helpful.
Instead of just saying that the gym pictures are different, even when they're not.
Okay. Chat, you says that it's wrong. So ready? I'm gonna show you it's wrong. I'm gonna go gym picture anomaly, and it's not gonna change. See?
I think there's something wrong with the picture, Sniff.
Was there always a whiteboard in the classroom with a plant? Yeah, I think there was. Sorry, I was not. Oh, okay, wait. Object movement? Extra object? Is there door opening and closing? Office. Okay.
When I was playing the Five Nights at Freddy's security booth, the animatronics never scared me. It was always the doors.
Dude, I feel like I'm gonna piss myself. There are 2 water bottles in the classroom. There's always been 2 water bottles in the classroom, chat. I don't know what to tell you.
As you're going cuckoo.
Yeah, there's always been 2. Right here. Okay. Whoo. I don't know what's going on anymore. I'm so scared. I'm gonna piss myself. Okay.
Stop saying that.
Sorry, I am sorry. The 3rd laptop on there. Wait, the 3rd laptop in there is on now. These laptops have always been on. I swear.
Yeah.
I mean, here, I can double check. I
think they've been on. I think it was always like that.
But I'll double check.
Okay.
The balls haven't moved. Oh, did you see that? There was an object. The trash can was moving in the toilet. Look at this. There's something in there. There's something right. Wait, is classroom 1 missing? No, it's right here. It's right here. We just haven't gone. Rat in the trash can. Oh, the painting's different here. Office. Wait, here. I don't want to look at it. I'm sorry. Office painting anomaly. Send. Okay. 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 Good. We're so good at this, CRUMB.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are, CRUMB. We're amazing. We're talented and gifted.
We're gonna get scared by another door.
Oh my god, another raid. Shit. Thank you for the raid. I'm playing Observation Duty. It's a camera flipping game where you point out anomalies and differences in the game. You can help us, chat. That's the whole thing. Yep. Sorry, I'm terrified for my life right now. Oh my god. I feel like I'm worried that even just like announcing a raid, I'm gonna miss something. Okay. Box thing in the classroom 1. Is there oh wait, I think there's an extra object. I don't remember this being here. Wait, classroom 1, extra object. Let's just try it. Okay. Ugh. There was nothing.
Yeah, going cuckoo.
Yeah. We just fucking reported stuff. Come on. Okay, I'm sweating. Oh my god.
You look like that.
What is up with his legs?
You know the thing is that it's like you punch it He looked like one of those things.
Wait, is the picture different? No, I think the picture's the same. The water bottle is missing on the locker. It's right here. It's right here, chat.
No,
Sorry.
it's missing. I don't see it. I'm closing my eyes right now.
Oh my god, there's a new door here though.
Oh, what the heck? Oh, they closed the doors.
Wait, classroom? Is it door opening and closing, and this is the corridor? Okay.
Why is it a new object? Because what if there were never doors there in the first place?
Okay, whew, whew, let's go, let's go. Stuff on table in classroom 2. But this stuff has always been there. I don't know what you're talking about. Literally. I'm so scared.
I am too. You're making me nervous.
It's because nothing's happening. Floor change in classroom 2. Oh, you're right. CRUMB saw this last time.
Ew,
Somebody said picture change in the gym again.
Oh gosh.
Oh.
Wait, what if it is though?
Yeah, I'll look. Chat, it
Oh
literally,
my gosh.
it literally has not changed. It literally.
Say there's a picture change. It's not even real.
Wait, black paper in classroom 1? Wait, we'll do extra object classroom 1. Okay, it's 3 now.
That's better.
Chair
than
moved
that.
office, chair moved office, chair moved office. I don't know. I'll just double check. Object movement office.
Are we doing better than last time? at least?
Yes. Can you turn up? Wait, I don't. Oh, wait, here we go. We can turn up the brightness. There you go, chat. Now it's extra bright.
Oh my gosh, that's like actually so much more helpful. How can we do this
Wait,
earlier?
extra door in corridor?
Oh, that is. Oh, now I
it-
gotta think everything is a light anomaly.
Yeah, I know. I don't think. Is there an extra door in corridor? Other corridor? Chair in classroom 1? What? Where? What moved? Wait, object movement classroom 1. Oh! Oh, it was one of these. Wow, you guys really caught that. Holy shit, good job.
Ugh.
Wow, turning up the brightness was actually so helpful.
Yeah, but now every time I see the gym, I think there's a light anomaly.
CRUMB, I have to wait. Jim pick serious.
Liar, liar,
Oh no,
liar.
they're right.
It is real this time.
It's real this time. Holy shit. Okay. And then somebody said laptops are opened, but I thought these were always open. Here, I'll try object movement classroom 2. Extra depth
Open,
desk
but they were just
and
never on.
wait, I could try. I don't know what they were.
On the other desks, maybe?
Wait, they said it could be an extra object, so let me try that too.
And that there.
No, I think you guys are wrong. How dare you? Wait, was there always 2 water fountains here?
So,
Okay. I'm just double checking. Wait, this chair is wrong. This chair is wrong. This chair is wrong.
it's facing towards us. There's a ghost sitting at us.
Okay, object movement classroom 1. Okay. What?
Hey,
Oh, wait, the pictures in here are different. The pictures in here are different. Report. Picture anomaly, classroom 2. Send.
Quickly, Sniff, quickly.
I'm trying.
I know, I appreciate it, thank you.
Okay, there's gotta be more though. What are we missing? The toilet paper's there, that's there. Is there like an extra object somewhere? Oh my god. Extra object gym. Wait. Extra object gym. Is it this thing? Or is it rack thing in gym, or is it object moved? Wait, no, let's try object movement gym. I don't know. Lunchbox missing? Wait, somebody said lunchbox missing. Lunchbox missing! Oh, lunchbox missing! Object disappearance. Send. Has the mirror always had words on it? What do you mean? You mean this? Oh. Extra object in corridors.
Which last time we won, we got the warning, but we still won. So I think we got this in the bag.
Okay. So somebody said extra object in corridors, but laptops in classroom 2. No, the laptops in classroom 2. Is the painting changed? Is the one in the back different? Wait. Painting anomaly, classroom 2. Let me just double check that.
It looks like a really weird worm with a dude's face for a head.
Oh, yes! Oh my god, extra object next to the water bottle in the corridor. I feel like that was always there, chat. I mean, I can try. Corridor, extra object, there you go. Were there always 2 chairs in the office? There was, yeah. Okay, we're at 4.
That's good, we're doing good.
CRUMB, I have to pee so badly. I'm gonna go pee real quick before I piss myself playing this game. You need to babysit chat, okay?
No, wait, I also wanted to go pee.
Oh, then we'll also go pee. We're both going pee, chat. You have to have a discussion while we're gone. Here, I'll even play some music for you. Oh, I just realized I wasn't muting, like, in Discord. Here, I'll play a Miku song for you, chat. You know? I'll be right back. Hello, chat. I'm back. I'm gonna unmute while we wait for CRUMB to get back. Okay. Hello, new. I'm dad. Yes, that's the line. That's the line, chat. That's the very so important line. Here, while we wait for CRUMB, Why don't you guys tell me what you did today and how your day's going? Because I would love to know. You know? Hello and welcome back.
I'm back.
Oh my god, CRUMB. How is
Sorry, I had to put a cracker.
Dude, we're just doing a group pissing session, you know?
Oh my gosh, that's how you know we're really good friends.
Yeah, we have a group pissing session.
It's scheduled every day too. Every single day.
Every single day at 8:26 p.m. EST.
Oh, I had a hair in my mouth.
Okay, are we ready? Are we ready to go back to Are we ready to go back to observing?
Yes!
Yes! Okay. Okay, let's do this, CRUMB. I also bought the fourth one if we can't yeah, okay. Okay, let's do this. It is 4:01. Was that soccer ball always here? Wait.
Soccer ball.
In the corridor?
I think so.
Okay. I gotta get back into like the observation mode. It's hard.
Gym pictures.
Wait, gym pictures?
I lied, I'm sorry.
Why did you? Oh my god, you're actually horrible.
I'm sorry.
Oh wait, the picture.
I was
Oh wait, no.
blind.
Is the picture in here different? No, I think it's the same. Fan in office stopped. Oh, is that object movement? I don't know what that would be.
Object movement, I think.
Or object lack of movement? Okay, wait. Let's try other. Okay. I'm waiting to... Okay, there we go. We got it. Wait, is the screen different? I'm just testing.
Dude, this cracker is so good.
Wait, I feel like there's an extra radiator in here in the gym. Look, wait. Extra object, gym. Like there's like another radiator. I don't know if you can see it. I'm so talented! Okay, sorry.
You have to bring...
Classroom 2, picture anomaly. Okay, extra vent? Yeah, that's what I meant. The gym is not supposed to be sus. Okay.
Oh my god, that cracker was so good. It was so good. You have no idea. Oh my god.
Wait, what was it?
A cracker?
CRUMB, you can't see that on Twitch.
Why?
Did you hear that Hassan said that once and got banned?
Who?
Hassan?
I probably heard him before.
Yeah, he said that on Twitch and got banned. The clock in the office moved. Did it? No, it looks the same.
Oh my god, that cracker was so good. Oh my god, you don't understand.
Painting in toilet, picture in bathroom? Wait. Oh my god, you're right. You're right. Picture anomaly, toilet. Okay.
You sell strawberry chocolate bars?
Do I sell strawberry chocolate bars?
Do people sell strawberry bars?
I think they do. I think you can. I think my local coffee. Oh, is the picture here different? The picture's here different. I think picture anomaly office. I feel like this is different. I don't know. Oh, that's a lighting anomaly. Okay.
Found in ingredients.
Light anomaly. A light anomaly in the off. No, wait, it's not in the office. It's in the gym. Oh man, that was my fault.
I like artificial strawberry flavors. What can I say?
Me too, actually.
Tastes good.
I agree with that.
It doesn't taste like actual strawberries. I think it tastes yummy.
See, I think Hershey's is a strawberry and cream one, but I don't know if that's like what you mean.
I want strawberry flavored things. I like strawberry flavored things.
Me too, Crumb. I like strawberry shortcake. Do you like strawberry shortcake?
No.
Wait, oh, we're missing a computer in here.
Huh? Oh.
Object disappearance, classroom 2. There should be a laptop on the computer. Like, there's supposed to be laptops on every desk. I'm so good at this. I feel so talented. We might actually make it out, Crumb.
It is all thanks to you.
It's all thanks to our group pissing.
Let's stop calling it that.
I'm looking at chat to see if they're gonna say anything.
They're just gonna say gym pictures. Ignore them.
But did the picture by the plant change? No, that's been the same. We're not like missing a room, are we?
Surely
Wait.
not.
We're missing there's a object disappearance in the toilet. We're missing a thing of soap in where yeah. Yeah. Have there always been two little friends next to the desk in classroom 2? You mean water bottles? Yes. Picture?
Sniff?
What?
How long do you plan to do the stream for?
We can end after this if you need to go.
No. We can do another game and it'll be hurry up.
Okay. I'm cool with whatever. Picture in office. What's different in the office? I feel like that's the same. Wait.
It is the same.
Okay. Not again! Not again! Not the man pissing. No! I can't change it! Crumb, I can't change it! Crumb, I can't change it! Crumb! Crumb!
Sorry, I was screaming so loudly it just cut out the entire thing.
Oh, there's a different thing. TV anomaly classroom 2.
If ever hear me just go dead silent, that's because I'm screaming.
Why did he look at us like that? Man.
Good time.
Are we okay? Okay. Office picture on the right definitely changed, someone said. No, that's been the same, chat. Oh man, Crumb, we have to keep going. We're so close.
Oh my gosh, come on.
On left, you think? Okay, I swear, chat, this has been the same. Here, I'll send it. Gym pick for real? I'm going to kill you guys. Crumb, I feel like we're missing something. Extra object in corridor. Wait, let me try. Extra corridor, extra object.
Yeah, it looks the same.
Extra object bathroom? Oh god. We can't... I don't want to lose now. We're so close. The bathroom looks the same. Light hall? Wait. Picture... Chair in classroom 1. Is there a different, is one of the chairs different? Oh, object movement, classroom 1. I don't know. I don't know. Picture change in corridor.
Wait, go back, go back.
Wait.
To the gym,
Wait,
go to the gym.
I think they're right though. Picture anomaly. Okay, and then I'll go to the gym.
Okay.
What is it?
The volleyball court is currently growing out of the floor.
Oh, yeah, that's a little important. What even is that? Is that object movement? I don't even know.
They watered the gym too much.
Yeah, I guess so.
Extra object? I don't think it was there before.
Wait, what is that? What is that? Other gym? I don't know what to call that.
Extra object.
Okay, it's okay. We still made it.
Oh my-
I think that was the first time I've ever won that map.
No, I think we won with Pooh before.
Oh, yeah, that's why. Okay. We fixed 29 anomalies, CRUMB.
That was pretty...
It was pretty good. That was terrifying. I'm gonna piss myself. I'm not going to. I don't keep saying that, but it's just because I am worried that... I'm worried. Okay. Whew. I'm gonna take like a little breather from that for a second and drink my water.
You think Rainbow will even be able to make it back to play a game?
I hope so. Here, why don't you message in the chat and ask if he is coming?
Okay.
In the meanwhile, I'm just gonna take a breather from the spooky game. I'm gonna... Spooky game. Hydration is pog? Yes, this is true.
Yeah.
If you... If you guys can hydrate, please hydrate. So I said I'm gonna go get water and treat this like a commercial break. Yeah, good idea.
I'll take my big classic commercial break nap.
Huh?
I'm snoring. Oh, Rainbow's typing.
Oh, okay.
Sally, I don't think so, Shy.
No problem. He's a busy guy.
Let's try to run my game. I'm not addicted. One more game. One more game.
Yeah. I'm just, I'm breathing. Okay, I'm ready. Let's do something hard. Do you want to do the school, the metro, the market, or do you want to try the house? No, wait, the house was really complicated if I remember.
House and the bank were both really bad.
So should we try the metro?
I think we did the metro. I think we did it. Wait, is there anyone we haven't done?
Have we done the market? Or I can also lit up the fourth game, and I think there's more there. Do you want me to do that?
You want to save the fourth game for another time?
Oh, sure. Okay. Then let's try the market. Okay.
I feel like we did it, but I can't remember.
The boss went shopping yesterday and found anomalous activities in the supermarket. The site has been contained. Do your job. Instructions will be provided. Someone said the market's hard. Did we make a mistake?
All of them are hard.
Oh god, this looks like a lot of objects to keep track of. Okay, let's look through all of this. We got the frozen aisle. There's a fan here. That would be something that might change. This is aisle 1. This is produce. This is aisle 2. We have the break room. The break room is in disarray. Hello? Okay, that's all of the rooms. Frozen, checkout, aisle 1, produce, aisle 2, break room.
Boys got mad. They trashed the place.
Yeah, what? Did the boss get mad that he saw some anomalous activities and pissed himself? Like, what happened here? Why did they... Also, why is this...
the anomalous activities, they're like clutching his fist.
Yeah. Remember the paintings. Yes, the paintings are something that do change frequently. And like the fact that there's like a stool here in aisle 2.
There are so many things that could go wrong.
I know, Crumb. I know.
Of the back rooms in the break room.
Someone says to keep a very close eye on the stuff in the aisles, and that's gonna drive me insane. Wait, this looks weird. Do you see how this object is like sideways? Wait, this is aisle 1. This is a distortion. Would that be it? Maybe. Like, do you see Crumb the like weird bottles in the?
Yeah, maybe it's just
yeah. Or wait, here, let me try object movement. That just doesn't look right, if you ask me.
Done. Look back at the break room. They have the most insane looking pictures.
What the?
Like,
oh.
Who puts a picture of the inside of a building in the inside of their building?
Dude, it's like they like took a picture of the back room, so we're like, this is art.
That's what I'm saying. They just screenshotted it on their phone.
This picture up here of a guy saying like welcome is like freaking me out.
If I went to any store and that was an actual poster, I'd leave.
Oh, is this a distortion? Yeah, aisle 1 distortion for sure. Oh, this is a light anomaly in here too. It has to be, right? Like these lights are weird.
Well,
Produce?
they are weird. Were they always like that?
I don't know. Wait, let's see. This is already so hard.
You're just keeping an ear out for the music. Do you think the music can change?
I don't think so.
I guess we'll never know.
Dude. I feel like this one's gonna got me. It's gonna get me. I don't know.
Whatcha? Bottle on top of the microwave? Someone said bottle on top of the microwave.
Yeah, was that always there? Wait, extra object. This might be actually an object movements, and this is the break room. Let's see. I don't know if that was always there. It could be an extra object too. Here, I'll try extra object. We have to keep track of the screens here too, probably. Man.
Bottle was always there.
What bottle?
On top of the microwave.
Okay, I think it was always there.
People saying the basket at checkout is always there, I think.
It was always there, I remember that. This is so hard. Holy cow. Stool in aisle 1? Was there a stool here? Is there...
It's a slipping sign. I think that was always there.
Yeah, I think the stool is in aisle 2. It's right here. The fan is moving. I'm pretty sure the fan's always been moving. Intruder? Wait, person in food? Where?
There's an area?
I literally don't see anyone.
Maybe we're the cuckoo. Person in freezer. There's a dude in the frozen. Everyone is saying there's someone in the freezer. You have to check.
There's no one in the freezer.
Just check, I guess.
I'm looking at it. I'm literally looking at it.
At the bottom?
Oh!
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Okay, I see it now. I think I see it now.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. That was terrifying. Okay. Anyways, back to your regularly scheduled program.
My bird started laughing after I screamed.
How did he get in there? He must have had a hell of a time climbing in there.
He was always in the bag of peas.
Okay, wait, this is here, this is here. This is so hard. I like this game, chat, I like this game because you guys can help, which I think is cool. Okay, wait, I feel like I always feel like I'm missing something, to be honest.
We say that every time we play.
I know, because we are, Crumb. We're always missing something. You have to be vigilant. Was there always a bag next to the bottle? I don't think there was. Wait here. Extra object. Checkout, maybe?
Wait, a bag next to what?
The bottles. On the counter.
I did not even notice that that even existed.
It says no.
Yucca. Wait, go back. Go back
Back?
to the painting of the back rooms. Go to the break room.
Wait, I'm in the break room. What about it?
It looked like the light in the
Wait,
painting was moving.
someone said object movement checkout. I just see the fan moving.
Did the basket move?
I don't see it moving.
Let's try it, I guess.
Okay, wait. Do you guys... okay, send. Back monitor at checkout or... Huh? Is the back Oh!
One of the monitors turned off.
Wait, what?
No,
Okay.
actually. I think there's always 4.
Wait, but what moved in here though is my question. Okay.
Guess we'll never know. The cart in the back. Is that what someone said?
Was this dirt always here?
Yeah, I don't think... Is that just a stain?
I hope so.
No, wait, maybe get rid of the stain.
Yeah, wait, maybe it's an abyss presence?
Because we both noticed it.
Okay, wait, report. Maybe this would be considered other, aisle 2?
There's some weird black stains all over my floor.
Yeah,
What should I
or
do?
is that, or is, oh, wait.
Oh, whoopee!
Oh my god, we're so good at this, CRUMB!
I didn't have your sniff.
Yeah, we're cool. Did the guy's expression change? No, the welcome guy is the same.
He's cheery and joyful.
I wish that could be me.
It can be you. Just lie to yourself every day. That's what I do.
Oh my god. Okay, wait, somebody said clock? Where? There's no clock.
No, wait, I think there's a clock. Maybe...
There's a
Maybe
weighing
a
thing,
scale?
but
Yeah,
that's,
there's a
yeah, the
scale.
scale hasn't changed. Wait, extra clock on the tables. What? Where? Literally
Bottles
where?
gone. Wait, are the bottles gone?
The what? What's gone?
Bottles next to the bag?
Oh, object disappearance. You're right. In checkout. Go to
Good
the
job,
break room
CRUMB.
again. They said. What in the break room? What? Huh?
I'm so happy.
Extra object in aisle 1, someone says. You know what? I'll try it. We'll
Okay.
try. Doesn't hurt, except if I could figure out where the extra... What happened? Oh, it says report
Oh,
pending.
wait, I think I did. Yeah, I think some did go missing.
Oh, you think something went missing?
Yeah.
Where?
And the one you just did. The one with the leaning one.
Oh, okay. Object disappearance, aisle 1.
Actually, I don't know. I'm sorry if it's wrong.
No, it's okay. We don't get punished for being wrong in this one.
It's true. I'm sorry still.
Wait, the walls are different in here.
Oh, no, what the heck? They're itchy.
Yeah, what? Yeah, that's like a good way to say it, but yeah. I'm trying to see if anything is different on the shelves. No type of wait, what do you mean no type of anomaly? That was different.
Camera malfunction?
Black circle under the table? I think that's supposed to be that way, chat.
Wait, were the break rooms always like that?
Yeah, wait, there was no way that the break room was wrench in frozen aisle.
Try doing camera malfunction for the break room, because
Okay.
I think it's wrong.
Oh, there's an extra object here. Okay, I'll have to wait to report it though. Extra object. Oh shit. Oh god. Okay.
Forcing a best presence in the break room.
Okay, fixing anomaly. Okay, we got one anomaly fixed. I don't think that. I don't
Isn't
don't
that
think
just the table?
I think that's just the table. I mean, here, I can try. Abyss presence, break room. I think that's literally just the table. Like the table stand.
You guys better not be lying.
Cold flesh.
There is no abyss in the break room. Stop saying that.
Cold flesh. My favorite aisle.
You go to the break room. I feel like it's so wrong.
Yeah, no, like I don't know what's wrong. Like I swear the walls weren't like this.
This camera malfunction. I don't know.
Something feels wrong.
What are the options?
I don't know. I already tried camera malfunction. Okay, wait. Breakfast sweets.
What's the light anomaly? Maybe a light anomaly?
Yeah, maybe. Break room light anomaly.
Because I know something's wrong, but we can't change it. We can't fix it. That's making me stressed out because it's so broken for so long.
Yeah, wait, okay. Someone says that there's an object disappearance in aisle 2, but I don't know. This one's really hard.
Don't just do whatever the chat say.
I know, but they're also helpful sometimes, CRUMB. Wait, yeah, look.
Sometimes, but they also said abyss in the break room.
To be very fair, they can't see very well. Try other in the break room. I think I did that.
You did do that.
I mean, I'll try again for just shits and giggles, but
maybe distortion. Someone say.
Wait, why is it working now? Hello?
Distortion?
Wait, no, the walls are... Wait, there was something else, I guess.
I'm so confused.
What?
Was the break room always like this? Are we actually...
Are we getting gaslit by the game? I'm so confused, CRUMB.
Dude, we're actually insane. We're actually going
Wait, someone said that the wet floor sign moved. Object movement.
I don't think so.
I don't think it did either. I tried distortion in the break room chat.
Can they do 2 anomalies in one room?
I don't know. I think so. Object missing... Wait, bottles missing... Okay, I think there's something more important that needs to be addressed in aisle 1 first, chat. And then I can address that. Sweet Jesus.
Basically covered my eyes.
I know. Okay, now y'all said there was an object missing. I'm sorry I didn't catch it before. There was something else there. Okay. Cool. This game.
I hate the break rooms.
I'm sweating, CRUMB. I'm sweating, love. Okay.
I'm sweating, love.
I feel like, oh man, okay. It will never be the same. Object movement in aisle 1. What moved? Literally what moved? I'll try it. Don't get me wrong, but object movement send. Sniff sweating. I'm always sweating, chat. I'm not only is it hot in this room, but it's scary. This game is scary. Wait, is this a distortion? I feel like it wasn't this bad. Wait, camera distortion, aisle 2. It was not this bad perspective-wise, I swear.
Really? I think it was.
Okay. Is check missing? Oh my god, check is missing. Checkout is missing. That was a good spot. I also think that there's an object missing in produce. I feel like there was more at the table. No, wait, let me try. Produce, object disappearance. I feel like there was more stuff here. Yeah.
The boss said he went to the grocery store and he found some anomalies. What does that even mean? Was he like shopping and then there was some naked dude in his frozen peas? I don't understand.
Yeah, you went to go grab some burr, and there was just like a man in there.
And he goes, oh, that light is blinking, that light is blinking, that
Wait,
light
what is that?
blinking.
What is that? Is that a light anomaly in checkout?
Anomaly. Yeah. He sees some naked dude, he's like, oh, rats, I gotta go call up the blaze for this one.
It's like, oh, rats, gotta go call up my work. Yeah, like, actually,
walking around just
CRUMB,
to check out is
that's
missing and he can't get out of the store.
that's like 100% how I envisioned what happened. Oh, I can't skip it. I can't skip it. Intruder. What is this? What is this? Frozen?
No. Frozen intruder. Oh
Okay,
my god, if you don't get this, I'll throw
no,
up everywhere. I'm a
I can't look. I can't look, CRUMB. I can't look. It's pending.
Oh my gosh. Someone said I had to leave and come back after that last jump.
I feel bad. They just came back just right after that. Oh my god.
I'm waiting for the back rooms photo to change.
Yeah, me too. Dude, was he like? My question is, was he grocery shopping and then that guy just showed up? Like what? Oh.
He just sees people that he thinks looks weird, and he's like, maybe I should get rid of them.
Somebody says there's objects missing in produce. Wait, object disappearance produce. Okay. Yeah, it is missing baskets. I think it's missing.
Baskets?
Yeah, I think no. Okay. Maybe not.
I was going shopping and then an abyss just opened up beneath all the apples.
Wait, movement? Try moved? Wait. Okay, object, movement, produce.
I assure you there is no abyss in
Did you see that?
room.
Did you see that? Did you see? There's a man drinking poopy water. Okay, wait. There's an intruder in the produce aisle.
I was busy looking at chat.
Okay, ready? I'm gonna. Oh, he looked at the screen.
Why would he do that? Why would he do
Because
that?
I was trying to show you him. I was trying to show you
I
him.
could have gone a good time. I could have lived a long, happy life not seeing that. I don't know if you're aware.
There's no intruders in the frozen aisle. I don't think anything's moved here. I don't think any of the screens are different.
I like this one. It's so fun.
Yeah, no, this one's cool. I'll give it that. Wait, are we missing an aisle? No, we're not. Okay.
Did you?
I'm just checking. Yeah, we have gotten so many intruders in this round.
So fun though. Like, yeah, it's scary and it makes me want to cry, but like, it's like more intense.
Okay, but now I feel like I'm missing something. Are there any object movements? Somebody say there's another intruder, but literally where? There's a person in the produce under the table. No, oh, there is!
I didn't see.
What the hell? Why would there be another intruder?
Oh my gosh, maybe they heard us say how cool it is and fun in there.
Did you?
Responding to
Oh my god. Why are so many people getting naked and going to the grocery store today? Wait, freezer door is open in freezer? Where? Oh, you're right. Okay. Frozen. Door open. Send. I think it's right where my. How did you guys pick that up? That's right where my webcam is.
They see right through you, Sniff.
I guess so. They
lying.
literally see through me.
Sniff, are you gonna go to TwitchCon?
Yeah, San Diego.
Oh my gosh,
Why
really?
is there just a freaking axe on the thing?
The intruders left it there.
I think I'm gonna go, CRUMB. So, are you going?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Please,
are we gonna meet each other?
I need someone to info dump on. I'm begging you, Sniff.
I'm pretty sure I will be there. I think Misfits is gonna have me go to like Michigan in the beginning of October, and then I'm gonna go to the San Diego from there. So I think I am.
Why are you going to Michigan?
I don't know. I think we're doing something cool. I'm sure that like there's people that like actually know why I'm going to Michigan, but I don't know. I just do what I'm told.
Gosh, just going to Michigan for fun.
I guess so. Maybe I'm just hanging out at the lake with Amesy, I guess.
I guess.
Why are there
Okay,
so
well.
many intruders in this freaking game?
It's
Why?
so fun, though. It's so fun.
Oh my god.
Round 2 of mentioning possible abyss and break room. I'ma punch you in the face right now, bro. I would never.
I want to cry so bad.
It's okay, Sniff. It's okay. Everything's fine now. There's basically nothing here now.
Yeah.
We got rid of it.
I feel like there's stuff missing though. Like, where? Is there extra objects? Are we missing? Like, I feel like there
Oh
has.
my god, his eyes. Look at his eyes.
Oh, I saw that. Picture anomaly. Check out. I did not want to look at that any more than I had to. Oh my god.
Gosh. Hajin or me soda.
I'll remember to bring one to TwitchCon, I guess.
Someone say one of the sales signs in aisle 2 get flipped.
Are they? Are you sure? Wait, let's see. Would that be picture anomaly aisle 2?
Object movement?
I feel like the camera's distorted again, but I can't tell.
You always think the
No,
camera
it's
distorted.
okay. Well, maybe I'm just blind.
They're flipped.
Coffee
Someone
mug.
say they're flipped.
Coffee mug. The coffee mug is full. Wait, what would that do? Is that other? I guess the coffee mug was not full before. Somebody came in here, had a coffee, and then yeah.
I was thirsty.
For coffee? Someone says the freezer. Someone says the freezer is open again, but it's not. So.
Cuckoo.
I think I am a little cuckoo. I'm not gonna lie. I keep checking to see if the chat sees anything because I feel dumb.
Just believe in yourself, Sniff.
Wait, is one of the monitors? There's a monitor on. There's a monitor on in there. And check out.
There's a woman. She's kissing us. She's kissing us.
No, she's not. She's probably saying wrong things.
Oh, I thought she was kissing us.
Whew,
Sorry,
that was.
I'm standing up on my chair right now because I need
Because
to
you're
move.
spooked. You're spooked. Wait, somebody said missing object frozen? Frozen.
Yes, the thing on the window thing is frozen. I mean, missing. I mean, shut
Wait,
up. Sorry, not you.
Wait,
yeah, it's
object
missing.
disappearance?
Yeah, it disappears. There's a thing there's like a handle.
It says no.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm cuckoo.
I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Someone said, mobile viewer here, those guys on the elevator look really weird. There's a picture of a hall in one of the rooms. I think
Hey,
that's...
did something just move?
What?
I thought I saw somebody on the floor move. Hey, go back. Ew.
Oh, there's... Is there a guy there?
What?
I can't tell.
Wait, go back, go back. There's something hanging from the ceiling. Oh no!
What did we miss?
There was stuff that was floating on the ceiling.
Oh my god, we were so close.
No.
Oh, it's okay, Crumb. We still won too. We have a 50% win rate. We have a
True.
we have a
Wait,
50.
that's so bad. Oh my god.
No, that's not that bad. That's not that bad. That's pretty good to me. Okay, well, it looks like we'll just have to continue we'll have to continue observation duty some other time.
We
And
have
get
to
a bit.
continue observing some other time.
Yeah, we'll have to get a better win rate at some point. Oh, well, I'm gonna go say goodbye to my stream, Crumb. Thank you for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. You are one of my favorite people, so it was great.
You were my favorite people too. I love you. I'm going to go stream.
Okay, bye, Crumb. Do you want? Wait, are you gonna start stream like right now?
Yeah?
Do you want me to raid you?
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah. Go start, and we'll do a little train. We can go to you then. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Go, Crumb. Go stream. Go. All right, chat. We're just gonna wait. Everyone, stay here so we can wait for Crumb to get back. Stick around for the raid. And also, while the raid goes, I'll say, hey, chat. Wasn't today pretty cool? We hung out with people that we don't normally hang out with. We got people raiding and hanging out in chat. We got new people. I say that today was pretty good. If you guys are new here, I want you to know that I technically have a stream schedule that I try my hardest to adhere to. It's normally Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, which means that I will be back here on Sunday. And I'm trying my hardest to collab with more content creators so that you guys can, like, I don't know, have fun. So if you guys have any people that you have been wanting me to, like, hang out with and collab, please let me know because, yeah, I appreciate it. Today was fun. I love your streams. Well, thank you. I really appreciate this. AMC, I'm hopefully working on some stuff with AMC. We'll see. I'm hoping to also do so stream with like Elena EXE. Obviously Rambo at some point. He was just busy today, chat. Bill? Yes.
Hold on, let me send this real quick.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Bill? Yeah, I'll see if I can do something silly with Bill. I think that'd be fun. And Nikki? Okay, I'll have to make like a whole list. You have Charles in more streams. I am always up to have Charles in streams. Always. What can I say? With Hannah? Okay, you guys have so many. This is so good. Yeah. Well, the story is, chat, I'm trying to have more friends join us on stream because I think it's really fun. I had a really great time today. We're just gonna wait a few seconds and then we're gonna raid CRUMB. Ooh, who could have seen it? Olive podcast again. Dude, I love Olive so much. We hung out last night and we were talking on a Twitter space and it was so fun. I'm so actually glad that Olive is like getting attention in this community because I'm like, I wouldn't have met her, I guess, or them, sorry. I wouldn't have met them and they're just so cool and I appreciate them so much and I really hope to do a stream with them eventually. I think we're actually gonna try and plan an Animal Crossing stream. Yeah. It was so fun. I enjoyed my short stay. Okay, we're just waiting for CRUMB to go live and then CRUMB goes live and then we're gonna raid CRUMB. Okay, CRUMB is live, so I'm gonna hit the raid. All right, /raid cup toast. Okay, guys, I think CRUMB is playing Minecraft, which is very cool. So, yep, you guys have a really good time. Go be nice to CRUMB, obviously. Go be a bestie to CRUMB. And I will see you guys on Thursday. Hopefully a more normal time for us. But, bye, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out.